also going too high for my little vessel, so I resolved to pursue my first design and keep along the shore. Several times I was obliged to land for fresh water after we had left this place, and once in particular, being early in morning, we came to an anchor under a little point of land which was pretty high, and the tide beginning to flow, we lay still to go farther in. Surrey, whose eyes were more about him than it seems mine were, calls softly to me, and tells me that we had best go farther off the shore. For, says he, look, yonder lies a dreadful monster on the side of that hillock fast asleep.
Back.
I looked where he pointed, and saw a dreadful monster indeed, for it was a terrible great lion that lay on the side of the shore, under the shade of a piece of the hill that hung, as it were, a little over him. Surrey, says I, you shall on shore and kill him. Surrey looked frighted, and said, me kill, he eat me in one mouth. One mouthful, he meant. However, I said no more to the boy, but bade him lie still, and I took our biggest gun, which was almost musket bore.
I'm gonna look up what this novel is about. What is Robinson Crusoe about? Man cast away on an island in the Caribbean for 26 years. Wow. This book based Crusoe's island on descriptions of the island of Tobago, a small island of Trinidad.
Loaded it with a good charge of powder and with 2 slugs, and laid it down. Then I loaded another gun with 2 bullets, and the third, for we had 3 pieces, I loaded with 5 smaller bullets. I took the best aim I could with the first piece, and shot him in the head, but he lay so with his leg raised a little above his nose that the slugs hit his leg about the knee and broke the bone. He started up, growling at first, but finding his leg broken, fell down again, and then got upon 3 legs, and gave the most hideous roar that ever I heard. I was only surprised that I had not hit him on the head. However, I took up the second piece immediately, and though he began to move off, fired again, and shot him in the head. I had the pleasure to see him drop and make but little noise, but lie struggling for life. Then Surrey took heart, and would have me let him go on shore. Well, go with him, said I. So the boy jumped into the water, and taking a little gun in one hand, swam to the shore with the other hand, and coming close to the creature, put the muzzle of the piece to his ear, and shot him in the head again, which dispatched him quite. This was game indeed to us. This was no food, and I was very sorry to lose 3 charges of powder and shot upon a creature that was good for nothing to us. However, Surrey said he would have some of him, so he comes on board and asked me to give him the hatchet. For what, Surrey? Said I. Me cut off his head, said he. However, Surrey could not cut off his head, but he cut off a foot and brought it with him. It was a monstrous great one. I bethought myself, however, that perhaps the skin of him might, one way or other, be of some value to us, and I resolved to take his skin if I could. So Surrey and I went to work with him, but Surrey was much the better workman at it, for I knew very ill how to do it. Indeed, it took us both the whole day, but at last we got off the hide of him, and spreading it on top of our cabin, the sun effectually dried it in 2 days' time, and it afterwards served me to lie upon. End of chapter 2. Part 1 of Chapter 3 of The Life and Adventures of Robinson Crusoe. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain.
How many chapters? How many chapters in Robinson Crusoe? What? 30? Sailors life my first voyage of storm and African voyage. pirates a chance to escape free a man, English ship, plantation, another African voyage. Get the fuck out of here. Which novel has the most chapters? Time period directly after WMP. What? Les Miserables? Victor Hugo? The novel is divided into 5 volumes, each volume divided into several books, subdivided into chapters for a total of 48 books, 365 chapters. What is Les Miserables about? 15 years as a prisoner on changing. He is released on parole. This year will take it to belief. She must always carry with him, always branding him as a thief, and the bishop of Disney with him and treats him with compassion. Les Miserables audiobook. Les Miserables audiobook. Holy shit. 2 hours?
Les Miserables. Volume 1. Fontaine.
4, 5,
Book first.
6, 7,
A Just Man.
8, 9.
By Victor Hugo. Narrated by Peter Silverleaf. Chapter 1. Monsieur Myriel.
Myriel.
In 1815,
Myriel.
Monsieur Charles-François Bienvenu Myriel was Bishop of D. He was an old man of about 75 years of age. He had occupied the See of D since 1806. Although this detail has no connection whatever with the real substance of what we are about to relate, it will not be superfluous, if merely for the sake of exactness in all points, to mention here the various rumors and remarks which have been in circulation about him from the very moment when he arrived in the diocese. True or false, that which is said of men often occupies as important a place in their life, and above all in their destinies, as that which they do. Monsieur Myriel was the son of a councillor of the Parliament of Aix, hence he belonged to the nobility of the bar. It was said that his father, destining him to be the heir of his own post, had married him at a very early age, 18 or 20, in accordance with a custom which is rather widely prevalent in parliamentary families. In spite of this marriage, however, it was said that Charles Myriel created a great deal of talk. He was well formed, though rather short in stature, elegant, graceful, intelligent. The whole of the first portion of his life had been devoted to the world and to gallantry. The revolution came. Events succeeded each other with precipitation. The parliamentary families decimated, pursued, hunted down, were dispersed. Monsieur Charles Myriel emigrated to Italy at the very beginning of the revolution. There, his wife died of a malady of the chest from which she had long suffered. He had no children. What took place next in the fate of Monsieur Myriel? The ruin of the French society of the olden days, the fall of his own family, the tragic spectacles of '93, which were perhaps even more alarming to the emigrants who viewed them from a distance with the magnifying powers of terror. Did these cause the ideas of renunciation and solitude to germinate in him? Was he, in the midst of these distractions, these affections which absorbed his life, suddenly smitten with one of those mysterious and terrible blows which sometimes overwhelm, by striking to his heart a man whom public catastrophes would not shake, by striking at his existence and his fortune? No one could have told. All that was known was that when he returned from Italy, he was a priest. In 1804, Monsieur Myriel was the cure of Guignes. He was already advanced in years and lived in a very retired manner. About the epoch of the coronation, some petty affair connected with his curacy, just what is not precisely known, took him to Paris. Among other powerful persons to whom he went to solicit aid for his parishioners was Monsieur le Cardinal Fesch. One day, when the Emperor had come to visit his uncle, the worthy cure, who was waiting in the anteroom, found himself present when His Majesty. He passed. Napoleon, on finding himself observed with a certain curiosity by
2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 hours. 31 hours, wow.
read by Mark Smith of Simpsonville, South Carolina. The Life and Adventures of Robinson Crusoe
Damn you, savage.
by Daniel Defoe. Chapter 3, Wrecked on a Desert Island. After this stop, we made on to the southward continuance for 10 or 12 days, living very sparingly on our provisions, which began to abate very much, going no oftener to the shore than we were obliged to for fresh water. My design in this was to make the river Gambia or Senegal, that is to say, anywhere about the Cape de Verde, where I was in hopes to meet with some European ship, and if I did not, I knew not what course I had to take, but to seek for the islands or perish there among the Negroes. I knew that all the ships from Europe, which sailed either to the coast of Guinea or to Brazil, or to the East Indies, made this cape, or those islands, and in a word, I put the whole of my fortune upon this single point, either that I must meet with some ship, or must perish. When I had pursued this resolution about 10 days longer, as I have said, I began to see that the land was inhabited, and in 2 or 3 places, as we sailed by, we saw people stand upon the shore to look at us. We could also perceive they were quite black and naked. I was once inclined to have gone on shore to them, but Surrey was my better counselor, and said to me, "No go, no go." However, I hauled in nearer the shore that I might talk to them, and I found they ran along the shore by me a good way. I observed they had no weapons in their hand, except one who had a long, slender stick, which Surrey said was a lance, and that they could throw them a great way with good aim. So I kept at a distance, but talked with them by signs, particularly made signs for something to eat. They beckoned to me to stop my boat, and they would fetch me some meat. Upon this I lowered the top of my sail and lay by, and 2 of them ran up into the country, and in less than half an hour came back, and brought with them 2 pieces of dried flesh and corn, such as is the produce of their country, but we neither knew what the one or the other was. However, we were willing to examine it, but how we come at it was our next proceeding. way for us all, for they brought him to the shore and laid him down. Went and stood a great way off till we fetched him on board. Then came close to us again. We made signs of thanks to them, for we had nothing to make with the men. But an opportunity offered that very instant to oblige them wonderfully. For while we were lying by the shore, came two mighty creatures, one pursuing the other, as we took it, with great fury from the mountains towards the sea. Whether it was the male pursuing the female, or whether they were in sport or in rage, we could not tell, any more than we could tell whether it was usual or strange. But I believe it was the latter, because, in the first place, those ravenous creatures seldom appear but in the night, and in the second place, we found them terribly frightened, especially the women. The man that had the lance or dart did not fly from them, but the rest did. However, as the two creatures ran directly into the water, they did not offer to fall upon any of the negroes, but plunged themselves into the sea, and swam about as if they had come for their diversion. At last one of them began to come nearer our boat than at first I expected. And I lay ready for him, for I had loaded my gun with all possible expedition, and bade Xury load both the others. As soon as he came fairly within my reach, I fired, and shot him directly in the head. Immediately he sank down into the water, but rose instantly and plunged up and down as if he were struggling for life. And so indeed he was. He immediately made to the shore, but between the wound, which was his mortal hurt, and the strangling of the water, he died just before he reached the shore. It is impossible to express the astonishment of these poor creatures at the noise and fire of my gun. Some of them were even ready to die for fear, fell down as dead with a very terror. When they saw the creature dead and sunk in the water, and I made signs to them to come to the shore, they took heart and came, and began to search for the creature. I found him by his blood staining the water, and by the help of a rope which I slung round him, gave the negroes a call. They dragged him on shore, and found that it was a most curious leopard, spotted, and fine to an admirable degree. Negroes held up their hands with admiration, to think what it was I had killed him with. The other creature, frightened with the flash of fire and the noise of the gun, swam on shore, and ran up directly to the mountains from whence they came. Nor could I, at that distance, know what it was. I found quickly the negroes wished to eat the flesh of this creature, so I was willing to have them take it as a favor from me, which, when I made signs to them that they might take him, they were very thankful for. Immediately they fell to work with him, and though they had no knife, yet with a sharpened piece of wood, they took off his skin as readily, and much more readily, than we could have done with a knife. He offered me some of the flesh, which I declined, pointing out that I would give it them, but made signs for the skin, which they gave me very freely, and brought me a great deal more of their provisions, which, though I did not understand, yet I accepted. I then made signs to them for some water, and held out one of my jars to them, turning it bottom upward to show that it was empty, and that I wanted to have it filled. They called immediately to some of their friends, and there came two women, and brought a great vessel made of earth, and burnt, as I supposed, in the sun. This they set down to me as before, and I sent Xury on shore with my jars, and filled them all three. The women were as naked as the men. I was now furnished with roots and corn, such as it was, and water, and leaving my friendly negroes, I made forward for about 11 days more, without offering to go near the shore, till I saw the land run out a great length into the sea, and about the distance of 4 or 5 leagues before me. And the sea being very calm, I kept a large offing to make this point. At length, doubling the point, and about 2 leagues from the land, I saw plainly land on the other side to seaward. Then I concluded, as it was most certain indeed, that this was the Cape de Verde, and those the islands called roughly Cape de Verde Islands. However, they were at a great distance, and I could not well tell what I had best to do, for if I should be taken with a fresh of wind, I might neither reach one or other. In this dilemma, as I was very pensive, I stepped into the cabin and sat down, Xury having the helm, when, on a sudden, the boy cried out, "Master, master, a ship with a sail!" The foolish boy was knocked out of his wits, thinking it must needs be some of his master's ships sent to his us, but I knew we were far enough out of their reach. I jumped out of the cabin and immediately saw not only the ship, but that it was a Portuguese ship, and, as I thought, was bound to the coast of Guinea for Negroes. But when I observed the course she steered, I was soon convinced they were bound some other way, and did not design to come any nearer to the shore, upon which I stretched out to sea as much as I could, resolving to speak with them, if possible. With all the sail I could make, I found I should not be able to come in their way, but that they would be gone by before I could make any signal to them. But after I had crowded to the utmost, and began to despair, they, it seems, saw by the help of their glasses that it was some European boat, which they supposed must belong to some ship that was lost. So they shortened sail to let me come up. I was encouraged with this, and as I had my patron's instrument on board, I made a waft of it to them for a signal of distress, and fired a gun, both which they saw, for they told me they saw the smoke, though they did not hear the gun. Upon these signals they very kindly brought to and lay by for me, and in about 3 hours' time I came up with them. They asked me what I was, in Portuguese, and in Spanish, and in French, but I understood none of them. But at last a Scotch sailor, who was on board, called to me, and I answered him, and told him I was an Englishman, that I had made my escape out of slavery from the Moors at Sallee. They then bade me come on board, and very kindly